What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Massive Iron Live. It is Saturday morning, February 23rd, and it's a cold day in Ohio. I'm going to be here for about an hour answering questions. So if you have any questions, just post them on up. Those of you that get to the live video late, just a reminder, I do this every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern. Every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern. Set a reminder, get your butts here, get out of bed, grab your coffee, snuggle with your dog, grab your phone, do all that kind of good stuff. But just get here every Saturday. Okay? And if you're late to the party and you see this and it's recorded late or whatever, just hit me up on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram at Ben the Barman. Ask me a question. I answer every question. I'm sometimes a little bit slow because I can't always keep up with all the questions. But I do answer them all. How's everybody doing today? As you can see, the beard is coming back. And I already talked to the wife. I'm going to be keeping the beard starting Monday for the next 100 days. All right. So what's going on, Power Man? I'm going to be keeping the beard starting Monday for the next 100 days. I'm going to grow it out. I'm getting back to the 10-100 program, which you can find over at my website, superlivingtoday.com, or link below in a lot of videos. I'm going to be doing the 10-100 program. Got off track this year. Created the program and got off track. Let's see, Milos. Got off track this year because I've been sick for 10 straight weeks with some kind of a sinus throat issue. Been to the doctor several times. I'm not going to die. That's the good news, so I can get back on track. So anyway, if anybody wants to join me, check out the 10-100 program over at Super Living Today. But the beard is coming back. All right. Milos, is that a first part of the 10-100 challenge? No. But, a lot of people would ask me if I'm going to bring the beard back. And my wife actually likes it. She just kind of rubs on it, says it's all fuzzy and cute and stuff. So if she can tolerate it, then the rest of the world, they'll just have to deal with it. So I'm going to grow it back during those 100 days just as kind of a thing. And if I wake up any day and get off of the 10-100 program, then I'll shave it off, and you guys know that I'm just a big hairy loser. Let's see, Andre. How's it going, Andre? Well, who do you think will win the Arnold Strongman? I've been kind of out of the loop this year, to be honest with you. So I'll ask you guys to post a comment. And if you're late to the live video, just post one in the comment section down below who you think is going to win. We are actually, just a reminder, I'm actually real close to the Arnold. So if any of you are in town for the Arnold, you can send me a DM on Instagram. Come over to Tiger Fitness where I work. I'll give you the tour, give you some free stuff, and we'll talk a little bit, maybe even have lunch if I have time. So what's going on, Jackson? Guys, just a reminder, I'm usually here for about an hour, so post up your questions. I don't care what they are. Nutrition, supplements, strength training, muscle building. If you just have some wacky personal questions, I don't really care. It can be off topic. Just hit me up with whatever you want. I don't know if you guys saw the prostitution scandal with Kraft and all that kind of stuff in the NFL, but the interesting part, and this is completely off topic, but it wasn't just prostitution, it was human trafficking, and with human trafficking, likely underage girls as well. So that's some crazy stuff. All right. Sander. Andre asked if I was participating in the Arnold Strongman. I don't even think I could carry their luggage. Those guys are mountains of men. Sander Kubi, do you think the RPE is a useful tool? I think the RPE is more of a useful tool for the intermediate lifter. Once you have to spend some time pushing sets to the limit to kind of understand what the RPE is for a particular lift. I don't particularly, and this is certainly individual based because, some of us have a greater aptitude for understanding that out of the gate than others. But that's why I put together my rep goal system, and I talk about in my rep goal system pushing sets for as many reps as possible, stopping the set when you feel like you might fail on the next rep or when you feel like your form is going to break down. Using the rep goal system or variances of it for about a year, allows you to really dive in and know when you're getting close to failure. And that can prep you for an RPE system once you become an early intermediate or intermediate lifter. So I believe the RPE can be a good tool, but I believe it is better served for those that are intermediate level lifters once they've established some track record of building muscle and strength, and once they understand, how tough a lift actually is relative to, relative on the RPE scale. Because here's the thing: a lot of people that come to me for training help, I'll give them a workout, and when they start running with a workout, they don't really want to work that hard. So I think it's just reality. It's hard work building muscle and strength. And a lot of you guys do that successfully, but for every one of you that does it successfully, there's 3 or 4 men and women that are like, screw this is too hard. Those types of people really have no business doing the RPE system because they can't even push themselves on a set to begin with. And I hope that helps. All right, guys, post your questions up. Post all the questions: strength training, muscle building, diet, nutrition, off topic. I don't care. I'll address anything. There's Schwarzgeist. Is your massive iron program with the RepGoal system good if I'm trying to lose weight? Absolutely. You don't train any differently, really, when you're trying to lose weight. When you're losing weight, you really need to be pushing just as much, just about the same. If you haven't built a lot of muscle, and I have clients that are like this, if you haven't built a lot of muscle and you're pushing yourself hard in the gym, there's a chance you can build muscle and strength while cutting. So you have to make the same effort. If you pull back on your effort while cutting, then there is a good chance you might lose muscle. Now, one thing I will say, the difference between bulking and cutting, or normal eating and a cutting diet, is you might have to pull back the relative intensity. Intensity is the weight used compared to your 1 rep max. So, for example, when people are on cutting diets, I never recommend they train above 85% of their 1 rep max, because generally they're getting weaker slightly. And it's not a good idea during that time to play with old weights relative to your old 1 rep max, or heavy weights relative to your old 1 rep max, if that makes sense. Michael Sadowski. Hey, big, hairy, ugly dude. Why has the decline bench press become obsolete? Seems like nobody uses it anymore. People get so obsessed with the upper chest because of Arnold, because of how Arnold's chest looks like. And obviously that's old school. There's been a lot of lifters with impressive upper chests since that time. But people have always tended to focus on incline and regular bench press as the staples. Now, decline can have a place, but it is my opinion that a decline should not be the primary movement of a bench press program. If you're going to do, one thing I did over the years was I would alternate week in and week out movements. I would do, say, bench press 1 week, and then decline dumbbell bench press the next week. So I would I would alternate. I would never do a decline in the same week. I might do dumbbell bench press, and then the next week, decline barbell bench press. So it's okay to rotate declines in. They tend to be more tricep-centric for the average lifter, but just don't use them as your primary exercise. It's a big compound movement with a lot of room to get you stronger, so it has a lot of value. Just put it in its proper place in a program. Let's see, Thomas. I just hit 315 bench at 43 years old, and I wanted to tell someone. Well, you came to the right person to tell, and congratulations on reaching that. I wish all men over 40 would realize that you're not dead. The way you feel, like crappy and sluggish, and you can't, wake up in the morning and your stuff isn't like that. That's not normal. All right. That is not normal living. That's a product of how you've been eating, a product of how you've been moving or lack thereof. And you don't have to feel like this. I'll be 52 this year. My goals this year are to be in the best physical shape ever. And I'm going to achieve that. Last year I did incredible things. I did a trail marathon. This year I'm going to be going for 51K, which is 50K is the next step above a trail marathon. So congratulations on that bench press. Enough about me. I wish everybody over the age of 40 would push as hard as you. Darren, is using slingshot bench cheating? No, it's not cheating. I use a slingshot for 12 years. There's so many benefits. It can help protect your shoulders. It help keep you in that right groove. It can provide overload, so when you take it off, you are potentially equipping yourself to have a stronger bench press. It's a tool. No tool is cheating at all. So any tool that can potentially keep you healthier is a good tool. We're not, the point of the gym isn't to be the most competitive bencher on the planet. That's for powerlifting. And powerlifters use the slingshot. A lot of them use the slingshot as a tool to get their bench stronger. So for the average Joe, it's just a tool. Use it if you need to. Let's see. Jeffrey, have you ever heard of someone tweaking an intercostal while deadlifting? Jeffrey, I've heard of people tweaking everything, doing everything. And not to be dismissive of your question at all, but yeah, I mean, that's the nature of lifting. I've tweaked intercostals while doing all kinds of things. It's one of the reasons why I tell people, like, people will send me form videos on deadlifts, and like halfway up they'll look over to the side, or halfway up they'll look down, or whatever. I'm very particular about things like that in the deadlift, because when you're deadlifting and you look off to the side because you see that girl over there doing that glute ham raise, and her booty catches your eye, and you're all of a sudden going like that, your body, where the head goes, the body goes. All kinds of crazy things can happen on any lift. There was a forum post over on one of the Facebook groups, and somebody was like, I was doing this lift and I tweaked this lift. What am I doing wrong? Like, if you aren't getting little tweaks in the gym, you're probably not doing it right. All right. It's like running or playing football. You got to pick up little things every now and then. That's part of the journey. And if you're not, you're probably not training hard. I'm not talking about major injuries, obviously, but yeah, I've definitely heard of that. Let's see. John, how are you this morning? I'm biased, but love Steve's programs. Thank you, John. John Jorgensen is a hero. John has been running the 10-100 program, and he looks absolutely amazing. John has lost a lot of weight. John is a perfect example of how to turn your life around, and I have a complete amount of respect for John. If you don't know what the 10-100 program is, it's basically like fitness boot camp. For 100 days, no sugar, no flour, no drinks with calories, a lot of walking or running or hiking, a lot of body weight work, a lot of reps in the gym. It's like complete fitness boot camp. If you want something that's going to change your life, then you need to check out the 10-100 program. And John has been doing it well over 70 days now. I'm going to get back on it on Monday now that I'm kind of feeling better. All right, let me get some coffee here. Just a reminder, if I missed your question, post it up again, or go over to Instagram at Ben the Barman and send me a DM. I'd be glad to help. Let's see. Tom Folders, when do you think a novice should stop using a program like Starting Strength? Well, Tom, here's my opinion. The average novice that wants to look good, wants to power build, wants to build muscle and strength, probably should not be using Starting Strength, because Starting Strength is primarily a strength program. In my opinion, it's not well-rounded enough, and people can crucify me if they want, but that is my opinion. I like a more well-rounded program. All the people that I've seen do well-rounded programs tend to build pretty decent bodies, and after all, that's what we're in it for. Now you can dislike my opinion about a more well-rounded program, but at the end of the day, this is just fitness. It's not competitive jousting where somebody has to die, right? What is the downside of doing something that's more well-rounded, I guess, is the question. I built strength using a greater amount of exercises, a greater number of exercises. So what is the downside? What is the downside? So I do not think that the average novice that wants to look good and build a well-rounded body has to use a strength-specific program like Starting Strength. So if they use it, go ahead and run it for 6 months. But after about 6 months, I think it's really time to go on something that is a little more challenging, a little bit more well-rounded, especially if you don't just want to build strength, you want to kind of flesh out different areas of the body. Milos, do you think targeting upper chest is needed? My opinion, Milos, no, it's not. I simply do not believe in targeting upper chest, lower chest, inner chest, outer chest. I don't think it's, from what I've read and from what I've understand, and being an editor in the industry and having seen these articles hundreds of times, there's no evidence that it changes anything really. You might be able to feel the upper chest working, but that doesn't mean that it's going to enhance the growth. I've never seen a case of it. I've never seen a case of somebody focusing on the upper chest with some radical program and then bringing up the upper chest. I just don't think it's possible. That doesn't mean I don't think inclines and declines can't have a place in a program, because I think they can. They can, because you don't want to overwork the same movement pattern. And having a wide range of exercises, if you think about it, here's the bench press, here's the incline press, here's the overhead press. What downside is there to working in that range? They all work muscles a little bit differently. And I think with that synergy, it's good for strength and it's good for overall development, to hit things from different angles in a synergistic way. But I've never seen an over-focus on inclines bring up the upper chest, so to speak. So I hope that helps. How far down do you go on dips? Hector Torres. When your arm, okay, I don't know if you guys can see this, that's about when your arm is parallel to the ground. Once you hit that point, you really don't have any need to go lower. When you go lower than that, you can if it feels okay. I mean, everybody's body type is different. We're all built differently. So some people can go 3-4 inches lower than that and feel okay. Some people can go 3-4 inches lower than that and feel okay now, but when they're in their late 30s, they feel beat up. So that's about as low as you have to go. Maintain control in dips. I always tell folks, either you control the weight or the weight controls you. Either you control your body on dips and push-ups or your body controls you. Stay in control. Stay really focused. Don't get all wild and crazy. The more control you have during your dips and push-ups and pull-ups and things like that, the less likely you are to beat up your body. But that's about as low as you need to go. So I hope that helps. Ryan, is it important to lift explosive on the concentric? The concentric is inherently explosive. Explosive. Let me try to find the right way to say this. Explosiveness doesn't always involve speed. Okay, because explosiveness has to do with the resistance you're pushing against. So someone like me that at his peak, got close to a 400-pound bench press in competition. Let's just use 400 as a guideline, okay, for me. When I'm doing 385 for a single, I'm exploding. I'm exploding the same as I would be with 225. It's just that I have a greater opposing force. When I do 225, the speed is greater, but that doesn't mean it's with a greater explosiveness. I just have less fighting back, if that makes sense. So when you are pushing a set to the limit, you are using an equal degree of explosiveness relative to the force that's fighting back, if that makes sense. With that said, don't slow down your concentrics, all right? There's no point. The only point really is to gain a greater time under tension, and we don't need to do that if we use an appropriate amount of volume in our programming. So I hope that helps. Whoops, almost bumped the camera off here. All right, let me get some coffee here, guys. If I missed your question, post it up again. Occasionally I miss a question and somebody jumps on me, but I never try to avoid any question at all. I try to answer every question. You guys can ask me anything lifting. Off topic, I don't care. I don't really care. Abreu, with so many supplement companies out there, how do you know who's legit and who's not besides Tiger Fitness? Well, working in the industry, I can tell you there is a wide variety of quality differences. A lot of the stuff you find at like Walmart and Walgreens and whatever, it can be really sketchy. And I'm not making blanket statements saying it's all bad or all good, but you really need to do your research and find a couple companies that you really trust and people seem to trust. And that just takes time. That's something you have to do your own due diligence on. The line we have at Tiger Fitness, MTS Nutrition, our employees take that seriously. We take quality seriously, and I know everybody in the industry says that, and that's part of the problem. But they don't. Trust me, they don't. For supplements, you need quality ingredients. Taste is a good part of it. I mean, taste isn't the be all end all. But if you have a protein powder that tastes like crap, you're probably not going to drink it. If you have a pre-workout that's a little bit sketchy, you probably will drink it because a pre-workout has so many different compounds in it. It's hard to always get it to flavor it, in an amazing way. So you need taste, you need quality ingredients, and you need something that is at least based scientifically on something reasonable. MTS Nutrition, our house brand, you should definitely check out. There's other lines that we carry as well if you're not interested in MTS Nutrition. But just do your due diligence and read the reviews on these sites, and avoid smaller companies with no base, with no time to actually understand if they have quality products. Keyboard Warrior, thoughts on static holds for the bench press? You mean after lockout? I assume you mean lockout or mid-range. It would be kind of fun to do that, I guess. I don't see any real value in doing that, but it depends on the application. It depends on how you're doing it. How you do it specifically could have value. Like sometimes I lower my bench. Sometimes I've lowered the bar to my chest and just held it there for 10 seconds just to be a dickhead, just to see how long I could keep 315 pounds on my chest and still press it and still remain tight. So, but I didn't really find any value from that. At lockout, you can unrack heavier weight and hold it above you and kind of train your central nervous system. That might have some value. So depending on the application, it could have value. But again, it depends on the application. So 69 Camaro says, no dips for me, but I'm 55. I do dips these days occasionally. I'm very cautious with them. I don't have a dipping station here in my gym. This is my gym. I'm not sure if you can see this. My little squat stands and got a TRX thing and all that kind of stuff. I don't have a dipping station here. I will when I get the money to put one in so I can play around with it. But it's certainly a lot of guys, once they reach 50, they've beaten up their shoulders. So a lot of guys just can't do them the same anymore. Lee Harris, I have your Massive Iron book and have the Power Muscle Block workouts. I'm looking for a 4-day split. Which one do you think is best? Lee, the best program is that Power Muscle Block, okay? If you have a track record of building muscle and you want to take that to the next level, run the Power Muscle Block. That is a system that's based on what I built my muscle on, and everybody I put on that program, and it's not magic, it's just a darn good program. Everybody I put on that program that sticks to it makes very quality progress. Strength and muscle, they look good, they get stronger, and it's just a fun program. So if you have a track record, you've been in the gym for a while, definitely give that a run. Anybody that doesn't know what my Power Muscle Block is, you can go over to my website, superlivingtoday.com. It's only $7.99, all right? Only $7.99. I'm not trying to rob your pockets for a program, but that's what I would suggest. And appreciate your support, by the way. Brandon, do lower reps with heavy weight make your muscles look bigger rather than lifting lighter weights, or is it the same result? Actually, Brandon, it's the wrong question, and I'm going to explain why, and I'm not insulting you. Whatever weight you're at, now, let's say you can do 225 for 5 on bench. You could also potentially do 185 for 10 on bench. Whatever weight you're using now, if you stick at that weight, you're not going to grow or get stronger. What you get stronger at is having a reasonable volume, so probably doing both, and pushing each for more. So you can't all do all low rep sets, all right? Because you're going to lose focus. You're probably going to end up hurting yourself. You just can't go in the gym and do 25 rep sets. It's going to beat the crap out of your body. You're going to have overuse injuries, all kinds of stuff. So what I always recommend, and this is part of my power muscle block system that we just talked about, is going into the gym, doing some lower rep work, 4 to 6 rep range. And then once you get that done, then you do your volume work, and you're trying to progress on your volume work. And once you get that done, you might do some body weight stuff, some burn stuff, but you're always trying to progress at everything. So you start out going hard and heavy, and you're trying to progress on that, and you're fatiguing a little bit. Once you fatigued a little bit, that's when you start doing your volume. You go hard on that and trying to progress on that. Once your volume is done, you get down to your burn or pump work. You're still trying to progress on that. So to answer your question, everything builds muscle. You want a combination, really to build muscle, you want a combination of everything, and you want to be pushing for progression in all of those areas. So I hope that helps. Harut, what is a good sign that someone needs to change their program? Been doing Mark's Big Five for 5 months now. I like it, but wondering if it's worth changing it up. If you like it and you are progressing on it, there's no need to change it up. I did the same program from 1986 to 1997. Exact same program. I liked the program. I simply liked it. I never changed it. You got to understand, take 10 different programs. They all basically have the same exercises. They all basically have the same volume. They all have a progression scheme. They're all just done in a different way. It's like watching 10 Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. They're all action movies. They all got basically the same plot, and they all get basically the same end destination. Oh, look who's here. So you don't have to change the program. There's no urgent desire. This is my beautiful wife, Fiona, who one day came over from Australia and said, "You are the hairiest, ugliest dude I've ever met. I think I'll keep you." What are you doing?
I'm ready, old Pat.
We are going to Kentucky tonight. Richmond, Kentucky. I have a friend who wrote a book called Donnybrook, Frank Bill, and his book was turned into a movie called Donnybrook, so check that out. It was just released. We are actually, this is our secret celebrity life, we are actually going down to Kentucky to hang with Frank Bill at the movie premiere, and Tyler Childers. So me, Frank Bill, Tyler Childers are going out for pizza
After party.
at the after party. So that's my secret celebrity life. Don't tell anybody. All right, so let me get back to things here. 69 Camaro, do you get most of your protein from animal products? A very good question. My protein, usually I have a scoop of whey a day in my protes or oatmeal. I have 1 or 2 Greek yogurts a day. So there you got about 50 grams of protein from Greek yogurt and from whey, so kind of from dairy or whatever. And then the rest of it is from, I eat a lot of eggs, eat a lot of chicken, steak, seafood. So it's about, 1/3 whey and Greek yogurt and some cheese compared to straight meat, if that helps. Park McLean, is Optimum Gold standard protein a decent protein? Absolutely. That has been around forever. It has a wonderful reputation, a lot of good flavors, definitely a good choice. Raw Rebellion, do you know anything about the powerlifting Hank Breaker? I'm training under one of his students, the powerlifter Hank Breaker. No, I have not. And Pete Rubish was talking in a video this week, and I've competed with Pete. I've talked to him several times. He was talking about back in the day when me and Pete competed. There was only 80 guys that hit a 2,000 pound, raw total, and now it's just crazy. It's exploded. So there's so many new power lifters in the realm that I have. I can't keep up with him, but no, I've not heard of him. He was all about 4 sets of 20 for most movements. What's your opinion? I like volume. I'm not sure about 4 sets of 20, but if you do it and you progress on it, you're going to get stronger. I like getting stronger with volume, but for me, that could be 8 to 15 rep sets. I think that's a good way to build your base and to build a good strength base. So I'm not sure about 20 rep sets, but again, I'm not saying they're bad. That's just something I personally wouldn't like to do. All right, guys, I'm going to be on for about another 30 minutes. If you have any more questions, post them up now. If I miss your question again, just head over to my Instagram at Ben the Barman and post your question up. I'd be glad to answer your questions. Just a reminder, my website, Super Living Today. If you need a form assessment, if you need a workout assessment, a diet assessment, I do all those services. You can find those over on my website. So let's see what we got going on. Post up your questions, guys. Terry Williams, what's your thought on RPE? I just answered that right out of the gate in this video. Scroll back to about the beginning. It's one of the first couple of questions that I answered. So take a look. I answered it pretty in pretty good detail. Petey the Ripper says, when should I stop cutting? You should stop cutting when you feel satisfied with your body. People will ask me, should I cut? Should I bulk? If you are carrying around a mental burden, if you are carrying around, if you are looking in the mirror every day and you're like, I look like crap. I don't like the way I feel. If that's what you're doing every single day because of the fat you're carrying on your body, then you need to get that fat off your body so you can stop worrying about, stop carrying around this mental burden. Just get on with life. All right. So you stop cutting when you aren't carrying that burden around, but you also have to make sure that you're doing something that's healthy. You also have to make sure that you don't have an unhealthy view of, or an unrealistic view of what you're seeing in the mirror, so that you don't become anorexic, or like you see one little molecule of fat up here and you just got to cut and cut and cut down to 132 pounds until it's, you do it, just stay sane, but cut until you like what you see in the mirror. Petey the Ripper, such a thing as training by genetics? No, absolutely not. Like, is there a better workout for someone from African heritage versus? No, not at all. We're all human beings. We're all, even in gene pools, different types of genetic backgrounds, or we're all a little bit different, right? But even in a pool like that, a pool of a different type of people, like American Eskimos or American Indians or white people from Scotland like me, there's going to be a wide variety of people. It's more, the only real thing you change is how an exercise feels for your given body. Maybe, and how you feel up here, like barbell rows, all right? Maybe you don't like 8 reps. Maybe you want to try 9. Maybe you want to try 10. Maybe that feels better. Because of your limb lengths. Maybe you want to widen your bench press grip. Maybe you want to narrow it. So it's body specific changes rather than genetic specific changes. And there's no different way to change to build up conditioning and strength. It's all the same for all people. Let's see. Ethan, Arthur. $100, you're drinking that black coffee. I am drinking black coffee, all the way black coffee. Let's see, just so you can verify that I'm a man of my word. That's all black, all the time. Always black coffee. Oops, now I just knocked over my charger. Let's see if I can. Whoop. Oh no, we just had an accident. Sorry about that. I just knocked over my charger and then dumped the camera. All kinds of mess just to show you that I drink black coffee. Very sorry about that. James T., do you think Eddie Hall's 500 kilogram deadlift will be broken at the Arnold? You know what? Those guys are absolutely insane. And I would never, never rule it out. The amount of freakiness and just sheer stuff they're putting in their bodies, I would not rule out anything. I would not rule out anything. Michael Sadowski, sometimes I don't feel a pump or a burn. Am I doing something wrong that day? No. A pump can be a good thing to try to achieve as a finisher before you leave the gym, but it's not indicative of doing anything wrong. There are certain muscle groups I can't get a pump on. And there's some days where I want to get a bicep pump just because I want to get a bicep pump. Just to challenge myself. And some days I just can't get it. Or some days my tendons might feel off and I just, I can't push myself to that level. So worry more about in the long run, progressive overload and getting a lot stronger than you are now, and being consistent with your workouts. That's your primary focus. And all the other periphery stuff, don't be too concerned with it. If you get a pump at the end of your workout, great. If not, don't sweat it. Just keep your eyes on the important things. B. Gill. When is a good time to do your first powerlifting meet? And how do you tell a good meet to pick? Well, B. Gill, you can look at meets and you can, let me just make sure this doesn't crash again. Look at meets and send them to me, or head over to my Massive Iron Facebook group and post it up. A lot of powerlifters there, a lot of experienced powerlifters. They will help you up. They will help you out to pick a meet. But when is the time to do your first meet? It is now. If you have an interest in competing, toss out all the excuses. What you see on the internet about all these strong guys doing meets, like they're super strong and I can't compete with that. You don't understand what powerlifting is about. Powerlifting is about a family of people that are strong here. And this family, it's literally a family. You go to a meet and 95% of people, they will encourage you. They will motivate you. They will push you. They will be there with you in the trenches. It is an experience that everybody should have that is interested in getting strong. Do a powerlifting meet now. Don't worry about how strong you are. Don't wait for some day in the future. Most people that do a powerlifting meet walk out of there hungry to do another one. They walk out of there changed. They walk out of there super motivated. It's just a good thing to do. So if you're curious about it, if you have an interest in doing it, do it now. Let's see. John says, as long as you save the coffee. We did save the coffee, but we dumped the camera. Sam Lawrence says, are you still friends with Every Damn Day Fitness? Without giving out too much information, Alan and I, and Elgin talk every single day. Every single day. And not just every single day. Like we toss around business stuff and just general banter about YouTube. And I was just talking to Alan this morning, and I'm going to be honest with you. This is just a conversation I had with Alan, and I don't typically share a conversation, but we were talking about YouTube, and I said, Alan is one of the few people I've met in YouTube that I actually like in real life. Alan's high energy, and he is a man's man, and I respect that. In this world, he walks the walk. He doesn't just talk the talk. So absolutely. PD the Ripper, thanks for asking the question, mate. Appreciate it. Is there a specific workout plan in Tiger Fitness suitable for a soccer player? PD, check out my book Massive Iron over at superlivingtoday.com. It is full of workouts that would be workout options that are perfect for you. And if you can't find it, just hit me up on Instagram at Ben the Barman. A soccer player. I'm a hiker. I also run. I've also been involved in basketball and baseball and wrestling and all kinds of stuff. So you probably, if you're really hardcore into soccer, you can work out 2 to 3 times a week and still get really good results. So my book, Massive Iron, will help you with that. And it has about 20 different workout plans. Nard Puncher, how's your 100 days, no booze going? Mine's going okay. Mine sucked, and here's why. I picked up some kind of a crazy throat issue, and I still have it right now. And it's been going on for 10 weeks. And I've seen the doctor. It's not strep. It's not chronic laryngitis. I even had to get checked for cancer because that's how bad it was. The doctors couldn't figure out what it is. They still don't know what it is. I've been through antibiotics. I've been through other treatments. Right now I'm taking something just to rule out acid reflux, and it's continuing. So it's definitely not acid reflux. So anyway, long story short, physically, it's just been beating the living crap out of me. It's been a battle that I really haven't shared, and I don't know what's going on. But I'm starting again on Monday. We're going to start full speed on Monday. Health be damned, whatever's going on, I don't care. I'm growing the beard for 100 days. I'm going to continue to grow this for 100 days. I'm going to go balls deep in this thing and get it done because I created the damn thing and I got to see it through because I want to see it through. I want that challenge. Boxer Courage. How long does it typically take in a day for a powerlifting meet? Very good question. At a average size meet, you're going to have a full day, probably to 5 or 6 p.m. Some smaller meets with fewer competitors, you can actually be out of there by 2 o'clock, but expect a full day. When I was doing the UPA meets in Iowa, which are world-class meets, the Lillibridges were competing. Guys like Pete Carter were competing. Guys like Marshall Johnson would be there competing. Pete Rubish. All those kind of guys. It was 2 days, and it would get done at like 8 or 9 o'clock at night. So it really depends on the meet, to be honest with you. Guys, go ahead and post up your questions. I got 20 minutes. Just spam all the questions you want now so I can get to them before I'm done with the hour. I don't care what they are. Personal, off topic, I don't care. Just hit me up. Let's see here. PD the Ripper. What's your biggest regret in your weightlifting bodybuilding past? Made a video about this, my last video, my biggest mistakes. And my biggest regret, I think, was the food choices. Like, allowing myself to eat less than clean. Allowing myself to get so obsessive about muscle building and strength building that I stopped doing other things in fitness. People will ask me now, like, why am I running? It's so bad for the knees, right? Why do I do sit foods, like these 6-hour workouts? Why am I doing body weight stuff? I'm a power lifter, right? Well, no, I'm just an accidental power lifter. I'm just a guy that tried it and liked it and enjoyed it as a sport. But my biggest regret is all those years not eating better and pushing myself harder outside of just weights. And now that I'm 52 or almost 52 and still feel physically capable, I want to see what the hell I can do. I want to do some ridiculous stuff, not for you, not for social media, but because this is my damn life. I want to see what I can do. I'm trying to get up to 50K this year. Running on a trail, which is like infinitely harder than a road race because you're going up and down and you got mud and you got hills that just go on forever. You have no idea how tough that is. And I'm not patting myself on the back. I just freaking love the challenge. And I'd love to get up to the point where I could do 75K in 12 hours. So my biggest regret is not challenging myself more, not setting higher standards for myself outside of the weight room, because in the weight room I set high standards and I achieve them. Let's see. Petey the Ripper says, when payday hits on the 28th, I'll order the program. Petey, I will tell you this. Anybody that sends me a DM on Instagram at Ben the Barman, I'll give you a discount off the program because, you know what, I'm glad to help. You tell me what your budget is, I'll get you the program. Boxer Courage, thanks for answering questions. Hope you feel better. Thanks, Boxer. Appreciate it. Nard Puncher, how's your running? And how far do you run and for how long? We've taken a break. I've taken a break right now from running. It got to the point where I was running too much. And I started to pick up a little bit of heel and Achilles issues. So I took a break for a couple months from running. And we're actually about ready to get back at it again. And the goal is to slowly increase the frequency of running while I am dropping my weight at the same time. So I'm going to have an increase in intensity in my running, increase in intensity and frequency in my running as my weight is dropping down to 210. So my goal, my next trail marathon is in August in West Virginia at Capicon State Park. And anybody that's interested in trail running, if you want to join me, and you don't even have to run, it's just 12 hours. How far can you go in 12 hours? You don't have to run, you can just hike that sucker. But if you want to join me, hit me up at DM on Instagram. I'll shoot you the link. But that's my goal, to be down to 210 by August, so I can run like the wind. Tano Cone. If I have nowhere to overhead press, will high volume handstand push-ups and raises with plates build some delts? I will say this: you don't want to do front delt plate raises, because the front delts get hit very, very hard with overhead pressing and with bench pressing movements. And you don't want to overwork that. All my clients are waking up now, and sorry, let's get that out of there. You don't want to overwork the front delts. So plate raises, I would avoid those. Handstand push-ups are very, very good. But I got a bench right here. You can't see it. What you should do is just seated dumbbell presses. You can just do single arm seated dumbbell presses, alternating seated dumbbell bench presses, or not bench presses, overhead presses, or two arms at the same time. So I would do a volume of those. You don't even need to use a heavy weight. You can use 50s, 60s, 70s for multiple sets of 10. You should be able to do those. And, if you don't have a big budget, just go out and find one dumbbell. That's like 40, 50, 60 pounds, whatever it is, and you can just alternate arms. So that's my best recommendation. Peter Ripper Nice will DM you. And Ricky, is that story of Eric Lillibridge taking 10 grams of test before a meet true? No. The dickhead that said that completely, it was a phone conversation I had with another YouTuber who shall remain nameless. And I never mentioned Eric's name at all. I said, and I repeat, there are several lifters that I know, a Russian and an American, that are freaky frickin' strong, that I know from guys that train with them, that were taking 8 to 10 grams, 8,000 to 10,000 a week, okay, of injectables. It was not Eric Lillibridge. I don't have a clue. I don't like to talk about drugs or steroids. This was a phone conversation I had in privacy with a fellow YouTuber who decided to go on YouTube and run his big fucking mouth like a bitch, the bitch that he is. But it never involved Eric Lillibridge, not at all. I would never name names. I know a Russian and I know an American that take 8,000 to 10,000 a week, but this was 5-6 years ago, right? I competed with Eric Lillibridge, but I don't talk drugs with people. It's just information gets passed along to me. So that information is completely false, and I did not address it because the YouTuber that brought it up is a complete idiot and just talks out of his ass for views, and people should not follow him at all. Let's see. E-Wrath. In your book, Massive Six, can you use the trap bar for deadlifts? Absolutely. If you prefer the trap bar deadlift, go right ahead. Just get it as strong as you can. Guys, I got about 11 minutes left, so pile on the questions. I generally don't run more than 60 minutes. Again, if I missed your question, you can send me a DM over on Instagram. Just a reminder, I'm here every Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern. I would like if you could join me every Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern. Spend all week just putting together a list of questions for me, because I really enjoy doing this. Honestly, I do. It's one of my favorite parts of the week. Let's see. So, yeah, Erath asked about trap bar for deadlifts. I've done trap bar. The only thing I don't like about the trap bar is sometimes it can't hold enough weight. But, use straps on the trap bar deadlift. Remember that if your grip is an issue, train grip after doing your back work. Let's see. Any more questions? Ricky just said, thanks for clarifying. All right, guys, I'm about to drop off. I'm at the end of the questions. If you guys, just a reminder, if any of you want coaching from me, I do the first month free. You can send me a message on Instagram. I'll send you all the details. First month is free. I'm about at my client limit right now. I have room for maybe one or two more. So if you're interested, hit me up today. I'll be on the road on Kentucky, but I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Ricky Salgado. Thoughts on switching deadlift and squats while running the Texas method, i.e. deadlifting 3 times a week? I'm not a fan and never been a fan of deadlifting more than 1 time a week. I don't think overworking the deadlift is ever a good way to bring up the deadlift. It tends to fatigue the lats. It tends to fatigue the lower back. And I just don't find much value in that personally. I would rather see you do things like alternate between sumo and conventional deadlifts week in and week out. If you want some more trap work or back work or deadlift work, maybe doing a lot of power shrugs on a second day. That's what I would recommend. Let's see, broken bars. Hey, big man, sorry I'm late. All good. Hey, she's here for questions too. We got 8.5 minutes left. So I told them we're starting the 10-100 again on Monday.
Yes.
And I told them I've been sick for 10 weeks. I haven't really told anybody. I got a throat issue. And I told them I didn't want to get on social media and be a bitch and say, hey, I've been really, really sick. But it's actually been quite scary. I mean, when you start to get to the point where one doctor says we have to test you for cancer, it's you start to forget about the 10-100 for a while. And
don't worry, you might have a tumor in your throat.
Don't worry, you might have a tumor in your throat. I won't lie. I went home that day and drank a little bit. All right, I did. I'm like, Jesus, what? But we're getting back on the 10-100 come Monday. So I'm about done. Let's see if we got any more questions here. I got to do it with my right hand. James says, would you be in favor of powerlifting and or strongman in the Olympics? By the way, hi, Fiona.
Hello.
The Olympics just mentioned that they were including breakdancing. I'm not kidding. Not kidding.
I don't think you can do that, though.
The problem with strongman, I'd love to see that in the Olympics, but they're going to have to be drug testing. It's going to have to be natural. They're going to be a lot weaker than powerlifting would be wonderful because those guys, naturals, are strong AF these days. I would love to see that, but I don't know. The Olympics, it's like they can't figure out what they want to do. So it's really a shame. If they just keep the sports consistent, I love it. Tano, isn't low handle trap bar deadlifts too much like a squat? It's very much like a squat, but it's different. It's more lower back friendly. But at the end of the day, if you're not training to be a power lifter, just do the exercises you like. It's more back intense than a squat, that's for sure. It's going to hit your lats and your back much more than a squat. Manolis, Manolis, do you consider the trap bar deadlift more quad dominant than the conventional deadlift? Absolutely. But the conventional deadlift, if you have a lot of quad size and strength, will help your conventional deadlift. John Jorgensen was asked by my son's girlfriend, does Fiona do online sewing lessons? She absolutely does. Fiona does a lot of sewing lessons, and she could set up something where, she could set up a FaceTime with WhatsApp or Messenger.
Facebook, yeah.
And she is
just sit there.
She is an amazing talent. So if anybody's interested, just have her go over to she has a Facebook page called So Threaded, or hit us up on Facebook.
Or just my name or your name.
Yeah, we'll Jojo, the driver, says, what's up? Can you do that?
What?
Let's do that with Joe.
Oh.
You gotta go, what's up?
I can't even do y'alls.
Y'all.
Maybe I can do what's up.
Jojo, the driver, said breakdancing in tights to Robin Hood. Yep, that sounds like an Olympic sport. Otto Pitt, is full body routine the best? Full body routine definitely shows signs that It's good from a muscle protein synthesis standpoint. But you know what? It can be tedious. You can spend a lot of time in the gym. It's not always fun. And in the long run, you have to remember when you're doing this for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, it's not going to matter what you do. Get a lot stronger than you are now, use the best exercises, and pick the best possible wife. Right? All right, guys.
Compliments you.
Yeah, all right, guys. I'm going to head off. Come back next Saturday, please, at 10 a.m. Eastern. If you guys have any questions that I didn't get to, head over to Instagram at Ben the Barman, and I'd be glad to help. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.
Stay sexy.
Stay super